Okay, you can start. Welcome to our question and answer session for this month of July. If you're ready, please go ahead with the first question.
Okay. Question number 1 from Sri Lanka from Radha. What are the advantages of Metta Bhavana and how to do it?
Metta Bhavana itself is just a form of meditation practice to calm your mind, like anapanasati. Instead of using the breath, you use the metta, which is the feeling of friendliness toward other people. Just create this feeling of friendliness inside your mind. See? Then this is a form of meditation. But metta itself is actually a way we conduct ourselves toward other beings, especially human beings or animals. This we have to do it when we are in contact with people or animals. We should be kind to them, be nice to them, be good to them, don't hurt them. This is the way of practicing metta, is giving friendship, friendliness, goodwill toward other human beings or animals. Like if they're in need, help them. If you have lots of things that you don't need to keep, share, give them. If you have too much money, give it to other people who need them. Then this is a form of metta practice, which is different from metta bhavana. Metta bhavana is when you sit down, close your eyes, and then think of this good feeling that you create from doing charity work. Then this feeling can calm your mind and make your mind peaceful and happy. So this is the two different things about metta. Metta as a meditation practice, metta as a practice you do toward other human beings and animals. The benefit that you can get from being charitable, being helpful, being kind, is that the Buddha said you will be happy whether you are awake or you go to sleep. And when you go to sleep, you have good dreams. You won't have bad dreams. You have lots of friends, because when you are charitable, people like you. And you won't be hurt. You won't be hurt by other people. You won't be killed by poison or weapons, because no one hates you, because you only do good things toward other people. And you will have good complexion. And when you meditate, your mind will come to calm very easily. And when you die, your mind will go to a higher state of existence. So these are some of the benefits that you can get by practicing metta, which means loving kindness, or love or kindness.
Next question. I am happy when I help others, but I dislike people when they take advantage of me, and so I'm not willing to help those who take advantage of me. So I wonder if I need to practice more dana or metta.
No, sometimes you have to choose the people you want to help. If you think helping a person to be selfish, then it's not worth helping them. You want to help people who will do good things toward other people. You don't want to help somebody who likes to steal, for instance, because then you're just supporting the thief to do more stealing. So you can choose your charity toward other people. Normally you like to support good people, good organization. You don't want to support people or organization that will hurt or harm other people or human beings or animals. So this you can choose. You don't have to help everybody, be charitable to everybody.
Question number 3 from Modesto, California, United States, From Jeff Travis. You frequently say the mind is the one who knows and that it uses the body to think, feel, smell, hear, see, and taste. So after Parinibbana, can you say anything about what the mind experiences? Does it take itself as an object of meditation?
When the mind has no longer uses the body to bring happiness, the mind has emptiness as a way of having happiness, because emptiness of mind is the highest form of happiness. This might sound hard to believe for someone who has to rely on something to make him happy. But if you learn to meditate, and when your mind become calm, then your mind will be in a empty state of being, and then you'll find another kind of happiness that you have never experienced before. So this is what the mind of the Buddha and the noble disciples, they used emptiness of mind as a form of happiness, which is the highest form than any other kind of happiness. So they don't need to have the body to use as the medium to provide the mind with happiness. If you can find happiness from meditation, then you would no longer need to use the body. Like if you're still alive, you don't need to go out to a party, you don't need to go to watch a sports event, you don't have to go to concert or to restaurants, you don't need to have a boy or girlfriend, because the emptiness, the happiness that you get from meditation far better than the other kind of happiness.
And is this state permanent?
Yes. The mind is never, that doesn't die, see. And the state that you can create in your mind, once you know how to create it, you can maintain it and keep it permanent.
Next question number 3 from Deborah Jones, Canada. As it is not recommended for women to stay alone in the forest, what are some ideas or some things that women can do to conquer or get rid of their fear of staying in the forest?
Well, you can maybe imagine something terrible happening to you. Use a virtual fear, virtual state of fear to create fear in yourself. Think of the time when you become handicapped, maybe lose a leg, lose an arm, or think of the time when you have cancer, anything like this, and see how your mind feels toward this event. Because maybe some of them will eventually happen. And secondly, you can go to stay in a forest monastery, which is quite safe for women. So this, and it's still quite scary, especially at night. And if you want to make it more scarier at night, when you come out, don't use a flashlight. Just walk in the dark, and don't walk on the path. Try to go walk in the bush, and see how you will react to this fear. If you're willing to die, then you will not be fearful. So that's the purpose. The purpose is to let you relinquish your body. Because if you cling to your body, you will be fearful and you'll feel very bad. But if you know that eventually your body is gonna die anyway, and so if you can let go of your attachment of your body, willing to let it die, then you will not be afraid of death. But you need to go to a place where you are still fearful to see whether you actually have got rid of this fear or not.
Question number 5 from Murray Hyde, New Zealand. During my last 3 years, I have had 3 emergency hospital visits and was heavily sedated with anesthetic. This powerful medicine have had a long-lasting effect on me. It especially make me becoming lack of concentration during meditation. So how can I improve my concentration?
Well, you can just have to do as much as you can. Sometimes the handicap of the body can handicap your mind, your practice. So if you cannot improve, then you just have to accept that right now you're stuck, and you have to wait until your body improves. When you don't need to use drugs, then you might be able to improve your practice. Sometimes this is the way how things work in life. Sometimes it's smooth, easy. Sometimes it's hard and difficult.
Question number 6. If I were to die while under anesthesia, how would this affect my passing?
It depends on your state of mind when you die, whether you have mindfulness to calm your mind or not. It depends on the strength of your mindfulness, and it depends on the strength of your karma. Because when you die, if your mindfulness is not stronger than the strength of karma, then the karma will take over your mind. It will direct your mind to generate what we call mental images, mental events, which we translate it as dreams. See, when you die, you enter into a dream-like state. And your dream can be good or bad, it depends on your karma. If you did a lot of bad karma, and not as much as good karma, if the bad karma is stronger, then you will have bad dreams. You'll be in a bad dream state, which we call apaya. Apaya has 3 different types: preta, asuraka, and naraka. Translate as hungry ghost, fearful ghost, and hell. This will be the mental images that will be created in the mind. If you are preta, you will be having images of hunger and need, never ever feel fulfilled. If you have the asurakaya images, you'll be entertained with images of fear. And if you have naraka, you will have images of hatred and revenge and this sort of thing, anger, ill will, in a state of conflict, in a state of war all the time. But if your good karma is stronger than your bad karma, then you have pleasant dreams, pleasant images, like you travel, going on a holiday, because you did a lot of good. You did a lot of good karma, which created a lot of good feelings. So when you die, then these images of good feeling will arise in your mind.
So if he dies under anesthetic, which means he does not have mindfulness.
Yeah, if that means his mindfulness is not strong enough. Yeah. If his mindfulness is strong enough to stop the mind from creating images, then he'll be in jhana instead. And his mind will then have the emptiness as entertainment.
Question number 7 from Dr. Ravi from Brisbane, Australia. When a person dies, does his or her rebirth consciousness depend on the last thought or depend on the cumulative force of the person's good and bad deeds in life?
Can you repeat again?
When a person dies, does his rebirth depend on the last thought or depend on the cumulative force of his bad deeds or good deeds in life?
I just answered. Yeah. Depends on the accumulation of your good or bad karma. It depends on which one is stronger. If your bad karma is stronger, then you will enter into a bad state of existence. If your good karma is stronger, then you'll enter into the good state of existence.
Next question from the same person, from Dr. Ravi. Can a moral person be born in a bad realm if his last thought has been immoral?
Well, this is just an hypothetical question. Normally, your last thought is the accumulation of the total thought that you have accumulated, and it can be summed up in at the what you call like you have account. You might have expenses and you might have income, and at the end you'll come up with one value, plus or minus, right? Plus, that means you are what you call, you make a profit, and minus, then you lose. So it's the same way. Your final thought, your last thought, usually is the accumulation of all the thought that you have accumulated. It will come up in the end, either good or bad, or neutral. For some it's neutral, sometimes for some it's positive, sometimes for some it's negative. If negative, then you go to the undesirable state of existence. If it's positive, then you go to the desirable or the good state of existence. If you are neutral, then you're waiting for your rebirth as a human being.
Question number 9 from James. If we cannot influence the karma of a dead person through prayers and chanting, then why do we need to pray and chant for him or her when he has passed away?
It's just belief, that's all. Long Tam Mahabuddha said, when I die, don't chant for me. He said, useless. You have to chant for yourself when you're still alive. You have to do good karma while you're still alive. Not when you die and let somebody else do good karma for you. No one can do good karma for you. You have to do good karma for yourself. And you can only do it when you're still alive.
Next question, question number 10 from Alicia Viviani from Italy. When one is in Deva realm, can he choose which human rebirth to take in this earth, or will he just be pulled by the karmic force?
I think this is the question that the Buddha said you cannot be answered. Whether you can, I don't think you can choose. You just have to take whatever comes up, but your karma will be the one who will choose for you whether you have a good human birth or a bad human birth. If you come from the devil realms, you will have good human birth. If you come from the Abhaya realm, then you will have bad human birth, because it's the remnants of your good and bad karma will be the one that will decide what kind of birth you will have as a human being.
Next question from Caroline, Singapore. I start practicing meditation for a year, but to date I still do poorly. I cannot even sit still for 15 minutes. Is this due to not accumulating enough good karma?
No, it's not accumulating enough mindfulness. Mindfulness is the thing that will be able to stop your thought, calm your mind. So you should try to develop as much mindfulness as possible before you sit, before you meditate. Mindfulness means for you to be mindful with whatever you do, and don't think about other things. Just watch what you do. Or if you cannot watch and your mind still want to think, you can use a mantra to stop it. Just keep reciting a mantra when your mind is wandering and thinking about other things, not watching what you do. Then you should use a mantra to bring it back to your body. Once it comes back to your body and you're watching what you do without thinking about other things, then you can stop the mantra.
Next question. While meditating, I constantly think about work non-stop. However, if someone tells me to do dana to the sangha or any temples, I can focus myself to plan and buy or cook for the monks. I'm able to fulfill the task even if I have to spend half a day or more to do it. So is this type of focusing on completing the dana task considered as focusing or concentration in meditation?
No, when you meditate, you don't want to use your thought. You just want to watch, observe what you set up for the mind to watch, such as your breathing. You just want to watch, to stop thinking. If you think, then you're not meditating, because if you think, your mind will never become calm and have samadhi. The mind can have samadhi or calm only when it stops thinking. So you have to use something to focus your mind to prevent it from thinking about other things.
Her next question: do you think that I should go to the forest monastery to stay for a few days to train my mind? If so, how long is the duration to stay in the forest monastery to be beneficial?
Well, it's up to you. This is something you have to try it. And it's up to the monastery how many days they let you stay. So there are many different factors that you have to consider. So this is something I cannot answer for you.
Her next question from Singapore: I understand that in order to succeed in meditation, one must do enough dana to accumulate merits. How does this work?
Well, say if you do charity, then you stop using your money to spend your money on the wrong way, like buying things that you don't need, going out and having fun. Yeah. If you do this, you become addictive. You have to keep doing it. Then you won't have time to go meditate. See? But if you give them, instead of using this money for your sensual pleasure, you give it away. It will then stop your mind from being addicted to seeking sensual pleasure. Then it allows you to be able to stay at home or stay in a monastery. And this is the benefit of dana, to stop your restless mind from being restless. Yeah.
Next question number 15 from Special Rose, Florida, United States. Is sati the strength that make one aware of the interval mental consciousness and the thinker?
Well, sati is the thing that directs the mind to be aware of something, such as an object or a mantra. This is mindfulness. Sati is what you call a mental factor that directs the mind towards something, such as a mantra or the breathing. See? You need mindfulness, sati, to force or to direct the mind to stay put at one object, at one thing. So this is what mindfulness or sati means, to focus your mind, the one who knows on something specific like a mantra or your breathing, to prevent your mind from going with your thoughts. See? If you have no sati, then you keep follow your thoughts and keep generating more thoughts. Then your mind will never become calm. But if you direct your mind with sati to focus on your breath or on a mantra, then your mind cannot think about other things. Then eventually your mind will become calm and peaceful.
Her next question: is panya generated by strong concentration is so temporary that we can only use it right after the mind is withdrawn from one-pointedness?
Well, panya is right view or sammatiti, seeing things as they are, not what we think they are, but what they are. Namely, seeing everything as impermanent, seeing everything as dukkha, seeing everything as anatta. This is wisdom or panya. But you need the support of samadhi, strong concentration or upekkha. When you have samadhi, you will have upekkha, meaning your mind can remain still, not reacting to your desire. See? So this is what you need, because when you see something, you generally will react. Your desire will comes up. If you see something good, you want it. Yeah. But if you know that what you want is bad for you, because it's anicca, dukkha, anatta, you can stop it only if you have a strong samadhi or strong upekkha. If your upekkha is not strong enough, it cannot resist your your desire. So you need both in order to get rid of your desire, your cravings, your want.
Her next question is Panya the accumulative power in our practice that will bring us to full extinction of kilesa?
Panya is the accumulative of your knowledge, of your right understanding of things as they are, namely being anicca, dukkha, anatta, if the human body being asupa, or food being dirty, not good to eat. So these are the things we call panya that will repulse the mind from desiring for things or people or food.
So her next 3 question is about sanya, perception. So is sanya the storeroom of all our past actions?
Sanya is what we call the storeroom of all of your memory, of everything that you perceived before, like the name of person, places, or things that you see and hear or touch. You need sanya to be the one to tell you what they are. This is what sanya is. But your sanya is usually faulty because they were taught wrongly. They thought, for example, the body as yourself. This is the wrong sanya. So you want to change this sanya by using the wisdom of the Buddha, who saw that the body doesn't belong to you, that you are not the body. So by contemplating this new information, you are erasing your old memory of the body and get a new and right information about your body. Then we call it panya. Panya is the knowledge that can get rid of our delusion and our desire.
Her next question is sanya the last khanda to be separated from citta?
No, they go with the citta. The 4 namakhandas always go with the citta. They only whether they go but they can either function or they don't function. They can. It depends on the situation. It depends on the mind itself. The mind is the one who direct or tells the khanda to function. Or not function.
Her next question about sanya is sanya the final image called genuine avijja?
I don't know. Can you repeat the question again?
Is sanya the final image called genuine avijja?
Called genuine avijja. Avijja is delusion. See, as your sanya can be delusional or can be enlightened. It depends. See. For most human beings, for ordinary human beings, they are all delusional knowledge. It's only the enlightened one, from Sotapanna up to the Arahant, who will have this enlightened sanya.
Question number 21. Today, question 28, Lung Po.
Okay, go on.
Question number 21 from Andy, Indonesia. What is being possessed by spirit? Is it true that a demonic spirit can enter our body and dominate our consciousness?
No, it's just a lack of mindfulness that allows the mind to create this delusion, this illusion of a spirit taking over the mind. It's the mind itself that is playing tricks on the mind. When you have no mindfulness, then the mind can do all sorts of tricks to you. And if you're not wise enough, you will then interpret as whichever people used to interpret, then you'll use that interpretation to interpret the situation that you face in your mind. But it's all the work of your mind itself, due to the lack of mindfulness. Nothing to control the mind, so the mind can create anything. And then you just interpret it wrongly as something like a spirit possessing you.
So, his next question, is there any reference in the Buddha's teaching related to being possessed by another being?
No. Your mind is possessed by itself, by Avijja. Avijja is the possessor of the mind. This is why you have to get rid of avijja.
Next question number 23. You mentioned that we have to have jhana first before doing vipassana. My understanding that in Yuga Nada Sutta, it is said that there are 4 ways to attain arahantship. My understanding is that we can do vipassana without jhana, can do samatha, then vipassana, can do both, and we can listen to Dhamma. So does my understanding about sutta is incorrect, or can we do vipassana without jhana to attain arahantship?
No, see, these are different situations with different people. People who can do vipassana means they already have samatha. Like the 5 ascetics when the Buddha gave Dhamma talk, they already have jhana. So when the Buddha showed them vipassana, they can become enlightened right away. So this is one type of people. People who already have samatha, they don't need to develop samatha. They only need to develop vipassana. For people who have no samatha or vipassana, they have to develop both. But they don't do it at the same time. They do one at a time. First samatha, then vipassana. What's the other type?
The other type is can do both and can listen to Dhamma.
That's what I just said. If you already have samatha and you're intelligent enough to understand what the Dhamma is about, then you can become enlightened. See, when the 5 ascetics listen to Dhamma the first time, only one become enlightened. The other 4 is not intelligent enough to understand what the Buddha said yet. It took them some time to digest what they heard. But with one, he's quicker. So he understood right away. So he became enlightened as soon as he heard what the Buddha said. So this is the ability to digest or to understand what you hear. Also make a difference toward different people. Some people can understand quickly. Some people take some time before they can understand.
Next question from Katrina, Australia. Question number 24. I spend a lot of time worrying about my children. You say I need to take care of myself and those who depend on me. So does this mean I don't need to worry about things like my son wanting to use computer all the time instead of having physical activities? I'm such in a conflict and I don't know when I need to let go or when I need to control things.
Well, you have to see what they get from you, what you give them, hurt them or benefit them. If it hurts them, then you have to stop. If it benefits them, then you can continue on. Just use this as your guide. Look at the benefit and the harm that will come to them from your giving. If what you give them make them good, makes them smart and happy and have an intelligent, good life, then you give them. If you give them, then you spoil them, then you should not give them.
Next question from Alicia Koo, Malaysia. I have been married for 2 years, but I'm still unable to conceive. Is this due to the karma that I have done?
There are many factors. Physical factor also come into involved. Your husband, yourself, And karma, I don't know whether it plays that much role in this part. Maybe, I don't know. But you can consider it part of the condition that caused your conception or not conception. But there are many other factors besides karma.
Her next question, if I am a Buddhist, can I proceed with IVF? Is Buddhism incompatible with IVF?
I think if you're a Buddhist, then you should be thankful that you don't have a baby, don't have children, because having children means having suffering, because then you have to worry and you have to feed your children. So you're just getting a lot of trouble by having children. So if you're not having children, then you should consider it as a blessing, not as a curse. But your delusion makes you think the other way. You think that by not having children you are cursed, but actually you are blessed. If you are a real Buddhist, you understand this.
Next question number 27 from Basar Harsarika, New Delhi, India. Do you consider the version of Buddhism established in 13th century Japanese sage Nichiren Daisohin authentic Buddhism?
I never studied, I never heard of him before. We follow the Theravada tradition, which preserved all the teachings of the Buddha in the Tripitaka. So that's what we follow.
So last question from Viran Karyawasang, Dubai. I'm very happy to find you because nowadays it's hard to find monks who practice honestly. I know that there is a Sri Lanka monk who has reached arahantship and he resides on top of a mountain. So his question, Long Po, has Ajahn Suchart reached arahantship?
This is something you have to find out. It's not for me to tell you, because if I do, I can be a target for people who dislike me. So it's better not to be a target. So it's better just to be me. It doesn't matter what I am. It's more important what you are. So it's better search for an arahant in yourself rather than search an arahant somewhere else. Okay? Is that all the question we have for today? Okay. Thank you for all your questions, and may you advance in your practice and maybe within this lifetime become enlightened. Thank you and goodbye. Okay, you can sit there.
Hello. My brain is very busy. What advice would you give me to help me to slow it down so I can meditate?
Well, you have to cut down your activity, mostly your expenses. See, if you cut down your expenses, spend less money, then you don't have to work so hard. The reason why you have to work so hard because you spend a lot of money, because you have so many cravings, so many you want so many things, so you need to have money to do it with. So you need to work, so you won't have time. See, so you have to cut down your want, your desire, or your cravings, and then you won't have to work so hard. Then you have more time for your meditation practice. Simple, isn't it? So try to see what you can cut down. Cut down the money that you spend. Live simple and don't spend money on things that you don't need to have or do. Instead of going out, stay home and meditate. Instead of watching TV, watching football, sit down and meditate. So you have to switch your activity, cut down your usual activity, and prioritize which is more important, meditation or other activity. If you want to meditate, then you have to swap. You have to give up something so that you can have the time to do your meditation. Speak close to the microphone.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity to ask you a question. My question is, in terms of purpose, I believe that as individuals we all have a particular purpose in life, but how do you balance following your purpose and also going about your normal activities for providing for your family, etc.?
Like I said, you have to first know what your real purpose is. If you don't study from the wise men like the Buddha, you won't know what your real purpose is. If you met the teaching of the Buddha or you have studied his teaching, you'll find that our purpose is to get rid of our stress, our sadness and misery, mental suffering. And this is caused by your cravings. the three types of cravings: craving for sensual pleasure, craving for being, and craving for not being. This is the cause of your endless suffering, mental suffering. So if we know this is the real purpose of life, then we have to prioritize this to be our goal, our purpose. The next purpose is to maintain life, because if you cannot maintain your life, you cannot practice to get rid of your suffering, your mental suffering. So the secondary purpose is to stay alive. So you have to make a living, a wholesome living, the kind of living that doesn't hurt you or hurt other people. Living that is legal, for instance. You don't want to break the law in work, in finding food and shelter and clothing and medicine for your life, for maintaining your life. So this is the second purpose. You want to somehow be able to take care of your body. And then when you have the body, then you should then use this body to study the teaching of the Buddha and to understand the real purpose of our existence. Our real purpose is to get rid of our mental suffering, such as stress, anxiety, worry, sadness. These are the things that we can get rid of because they are caused by our cravings or our desire. Our craving for sensual pleasure, craving to see, to hear, to feel, to touch, to smell, to taste. Our craving to be something, somebody, to be rich, to be whatever. Three steps of the 3 steps toward enlightenment or toward the cessation of mental stress, which is charity, maintaining morality or maintaining the precepts, and meditation. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Other things that you do, they are not the real purpose. They're not beneficial to your mind. They don't get rid of your mental stress. The only way to get rid of your mental stress is to practice charity, morality, and meditation. Enough? Okay. All right.
Thank you again. I am a survivor of abuse.
Yeah.
And I have gone through many different types of abuse in terms of sexual, mental, physical, and emotional. I have spent much time overcoming and healing from abuse. And in turn, I believe I have a purpose to support other people who encourage them towards their self-healing.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know if I believe it's a calling? How do I know if my belief in my calling is my calling?
Well, you just have to do it. And if you do it and you find it beneficial and serve people, make people happy, and you're happy, then it's your calling. If you do it and you don't feel happy and maybe it's not your calling.
Yeah.
You have to be happy with whatever you do. Then it will be your calling. But it will not be your true calling, because there's only one true calling, is to follow the Buddha, to become enlightened and to be free from all forms of stress and suffering. This is the true calling. But it might be difficult to get to or to understand, because you have a lot of obstacles blocking your true calling. So you don't know that this is your true calling. See what I mean? True calling is to become a nun or become a monk and practice charity, morality, and meditation.
Yeah.
Then you will calm your mind and enlighten your mind to the point where you can overcome all forms of stress and suffering in your mind. And you will find happiness all the time. You won't find a single moment of sadness or stress. Then you can help a lot of people that way, by teaching them how to get rid of their stress and their suffering without charging any money. Free. The Buddha teach people without charging any money, because he doesn't need money to make him happy. He already happy by being enlightened to the way of getting rid of all forms of stress and suffering. So if you cannot get there yet, then you might have to do whatever you feel is good for you and good for other people. It should be good for both yourself and other people. Then you might do that first. And then maybe later, when you have more time to study the teaching of the Buddha and more time to practice, then you might be able to change your calling to a higher calling. I think following the way of the Buddha is the highest calling, highest way of calling. But it takes time to get to that point. So you might do something else before you get up to that point. But do anything that is charitable.
Yeah.
This is the first step toward the final step of the Buddha's path to enlightenment, which is meditation, which is becoming a spiritual person. So you need to practice charity first, to help other people.
I do that all my life. I still do that.
Good. Then maybe eventually, sooner or later, if you have the time to study the teaching of the Buddha and understand what you need to do to follow his footsteps, then if you know if you know that you could do it, then you might be able to move up the next level to become a spiritual person. First, to help yourself get rid of all your stress and suffering. Once you can do that, then you can devote the rest of your time to helping other people, getting rid of their stress and their suffering. All right?
Yes, that's good. That's where I'm at now.
Okay, good.
So that's good.
All right.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.